Beavis and Butthead are not real. They are stupid cartoon people completely made up by this Texas guy who we hardly even know. Beavis and Butthead are dumb, crude, thoughtless, ugly, sexist, self-destructive fools. But for some reason, the little wiener heads make us laugh.
Get ready, everybody. He's about to do something stupid.
Bartender, how about 2 shots of 100 proof grain alcohol Everclear?
You can't be serious.
Well, I am.
Sir, we haven't served those since the
Vandergrift incident! We know! Bottoms up. Son of a bitch! Oh, God! Ah, my organs!
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, gentlemen, but you seem to have me confused with a character in a fictional show. Now, if you'll excuse me, my fondue is just about...
And welcome everyone to Dark Life Podcast. I'm your host, Live to Win, and I hope to God I have everything good to go for today. Today is going to be a little bit different, a little bit interesting from what we do from our typical podcast, because me and Dark are going to be going over our top 5 favorite games of all time that we played for 2020. So I've been kind of working on that, and I have a few things that I wanted to talk about, and I think Dark also may have a couple of things that he wanted to talk about, at least from what I've seen on Twitter. There's some information that I think he might like, so... Or maybe he doesn't, I don't know. Wait, you don't know?
I don't... What? What on Twitter? I don't look at Twitter a lot.
Okay, well... I guess let's just go ahead and do this. So I need to actually get rid of some stuff here. Let me just screen share and I'll pull that up for you. Hopefully it can show, but So, I mean, I was on Twitter and I saw this, so. PogChamp? I mean, are we full Pog over here?
Lucasfilm to
okay, so it says, we are excited to announce we are working with Lucasfilms to develop a brand new story-driven open world Star Wars adventure. And it's from
shit.
And it's from Ubisoft.
It's Ubisoft. Has Ubisoft made Star Wars games in the past? I'm trying to remember.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because EA lost their exclusivity, and now, that's awesome. I did not know that.
So, yeah, I saw this. I was like, okay, Dark has to say something about this. I mean, it's Star Wars, and...
I did not see that on the few times I went on Twitter. That is great. That's fantastic. Holy crap.
But
Star Wars games, hell yeah.
But open world, though, would they just do it on a single planet, or?
Well, it depends what they mean by open world.
Yeah,
like,
I know. Yeah,
there's like free roam, and then there's open world. Like there's MMO level open world, and then there's RPG level open world.
Right. Because like when I saw open world, I was like, for some reason I started thinking. Because, like, part of the appeal would just be, like, traveling from one planet to another, I could only assume. So that, like, you have, like, different, like, factions and characters and, like, different planets. But if they...
That's probably what they'll do.
But if they try and do that, it just feels like it will be so vast, And I don't know how much data they could, like, throw into it to make it stable, so that way it doesn't end up like a broken ass game.
Well, you say that. I don't think it would be exceptionally hard to do. I mean, video games are, with like MMOs and that, like they're massive, several different worlds and stuff, and that kind of thing, so it's like the infrastructure's there for it.
Third person open world?
I mean, yeah, I'd classify like World of Warcraft as third person. Like that's open worlds in third person.
Yeah, but the graphics are also dumbed down, aren't they?
Yeah, that's I don't know, I've never played it. I mean, I feel like
I'm just going by what I recall.
More stylized. I don't think it's like Borderlands, where it's not like the graphics are not great. They're just stylized in a certain way that doesn't look like, like you'd expect from a AAA game because of the style they use.
So wait,
I could be wrong.
Wait, if you didn't know that Ubisoft is now working with Lucasfilms to do a Star Wars game, then did you know about Battlefront being free on Epic?
I did know that. I picked it up.
Oh, okay.
I did see that, yes.
Okay.
And it's not only Battlefront. It is the most expensive edition. It's like I
saw a celebration
celebration edition. Yeah, that has like you just have all the skins. You download that, you get all the skins. That's what Celebration has.
Okay.
So, man, all those challenges, that's like, man, they give you 60,000 credits and all the skins. It's like, now you have nothing to spend those credits on, because you use the credits to buy the skin.
Well, I guess
you just have shit tons of credits and nothing to buy.
So I guess, to be fair, at least you got the game. So that way, that's one big information that you did pick up. Okay.
Hell yeah. I did.
Yeah, I also picked it up too. I don't know if I would ever play it, but if it's one of those things to where if I had a friend that wanted to do it, like, and they needed somebody, I wouldn't mind.
Oh, hell yeah. Squad up. Sounds fun.
Absolutely.
I'd be up for that.
So yeah, that's what's been going on, at least from what I saw on Twitter. I don't know if there's any other information gaming-wise. That was the only one that I saw.
Resident Evil 8 got
Okay.
announced. Well, or they set the launch date in
Right.
May 7th of this year. Resident Evil 8 Resident Evil Village comes out, which they put out a demo for it, but it's weird. It's a demo that's only available on the PS5.
What?
So that's weird. Yeah. So, the 5 people who own a PS5 can play the demo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's something.
Weird that they make an exclusive demo for a console.
Yeah.
It's weird. But maybe it'll show up on other stuff. I mean, it's only like a short, 15, 20-minute little teaser.
Right.
But looks like it's gonna be good. It's starring the Ethan and Mia from 7. Now they're in 8, and it's like they're trying to get their lives back together, and things go to shit again. Also, the freaking trailer for it ends with Chris just shooting Mia in the head 5 times with his pistol, and I was just like, oh, damn, they just included that whole scene. It's just like, Chris? It's like, sorry, Ethan. Bang, 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 bang. What the fuck? And then to black. And I was like, huh. Personally, I would have cut it, to black as soon as the first shot was fired.
Right.
So it's, more dramatic. But they kept in all of that, and then freaking Ethan saying, what the fuck? I was like, that was an interesting choice for the trailer. But
Man.
I respect it. Not how I would have done the last moment of that trailer, but yeah, that's what they did.
Right. As for me, what I did for over the past couple of weeks, so I got a new PC. It's working fine. It's one I'm streaming on right now. It's running so beautifully. Really excited about that. It's a new streaming PC, so now I have 4 monitors, a gaming PC, streaming PC, and now a chat PC. So before I only had 3 monitors, so I actually have an extra monitor for any, and it's not connected to my chat PC is not connected to my gaming or my gaming or streaming, so it's a standalone, and it could just do all the other stuff that I don't have to do. So it's really awesome that I am now able to do that, because I actually remember a couple of podcasts in the past to where I was hosting. I would be I always try and screen share, whenever we do Artist of the Week, we would, or at least I would anyway. I'll try and screen share a music video or a live performance of the band. And the last couple of times I did that, I realized I can't read my notes because I'm playing a video on the other monitor and I'm running it full screen. So, and I also have to make sure that it's also running on my main monitor as well, because that's what it's being captured. So, and now I actually have another monitor all for that. Slightly confusing when you look at 3 keyboards and they're not lined up to the monitor that they're supposed to be for, so a lot of typing on one, and it's that's not what I wanted to type. Okay, what computer and what monitor is it? Because I have no idea what I'm typing. But yeah, it's kind of awesome. It's just, streaming wise, this is just beautiful. I freaking love it. I believe this is actually my second stream that I have this set up, so I'm hoping all the scenes are perfect and everything's just flawless. But yeah. So Just really, really good stuff. Also, I do need to talk about a podcast that I did off stream. I haven't even gotten through it yet. I meant to do it yesterday, but then I saw that one of my wrestling promotions that I've been kind of keeping an eye on did like a 10 anniversary, so they did like all day. They were streaming on YouTube, like just classic matches, and I just really wanted to see it. So I kind of was watching that, and I completely forgot to edit my footage to upload to YouTube, and well, the podcast was, on my end, I mean, I guess it was fine overall, but there was so many problems and issues that we ran across. People were talking, mics were cutting in and out, and I was doing a podcast with someone called Delson Rowe 328, I believe, and he had a friend that was supposed to be joining us. He completely DC'd from the call, so he was out, so he never returned, and I think I saw in Discord he said that there was a storm coming, so that may or may not be related to being disconnected. So, yeah, there was a lot of problems and issues, and to be fair, I was dealing with YouTubers and not streamers, so issues were kind of anticipated. It's just we restarted like 3 or 4 times, and there was just, people would be talking, and like I said, mics were just cutting in and out. So many times I was like deaf and blind, and I had no idea what was going on. So luckily we were able to get a version together, and that's what we ended up going with. I have all the footage recorded. I just need to edit it, do some few edits, so that way we cut out all the technical difficulties. I might add a few things just to let people know how many problems we went through. And it was a lot of fun, but I really wanted to say, it was like the Cyberpunk 2077 of podcasts. There was just so many problems and issues, but in the end, at its core, I kind of had a little bit of fun, just kind of hanging out with somebody and just doing a podcast with them. I wouldn't mind doing another podcast, but I kind of want to step out, because I kind of feel like me and Delson are just going to be the ones doing the podcast together, because I'm thinking, even if he tries to invite like other people to the podcast, I kind of feel like someone's gonna DC, someone's gonna forget, and in the end, it's just like me and Delson. So, I mean, I'm down, but at the same time, if it gets too much, I have no choice but to back out. But I am very curious to see how Delson and his friends kind of just interact with each other. I think his friend that was supposed to be with us was, I think he went by the name Froggy Daddy 23 or something like that, and yeah, it was just kind of fun, just talking to new people, hanging out with them for a little bit. I think it was like 4 or 5 hours, I believe, we did that podcast, but it was so full of issues. I think only maybe 3 hours was like doable, something like that. I gotta take a look at everything, but that's all estimation. I don't know the exact time on all of that, but yeah, it was a lot of stuff going on, and in the end, it was fun. But I'm just a little curious how him and his friends actually react, because react together doing a podcast, because I think their chemistry would be a lot better, in my opinion. I kind of felt like I brought it down a little bit because I'm just so awkward. Don't really know how to interact with people that much. So it's because I think even Dark can admit that like Dark actually sees the real me every single time we get in Discord right before the podcast. That is just me 100%. I'm just so, I have nothing to say. And the only time to where I like really talk is when I do a podcast, do a stream. That's when, because there's stuff to talk about. Yeah, this is how I am. But yeah, it was, in the end, it was fun. I hope to get that all uploaded for you guys, so that way, if anyone is curious to see how just doing a different podcast with different people just kind of is like, I'm hoping to get that all sorted out. To be continued on when it gets uploaded. Hopefully I could do that on Monday, but we'll see what happens. But yeah. Any last more minute thoughts before we get started here?
Not really. Ooh, I did. You made that video suggestion. I made that video.
Oh, the one from the oh god, what was it? Clips from last podcast. There was a clip you showed, and apparently you remembered a particular stream where there was a conversation that took place, and then you I suggested maybe go back and see if you could find that stream and see if you could actually find the moment to where that happened and see if you could actually do some cut, splice, and put a like YouTube video together. That the one you're talking about?
Yep, I did.
Nice.
I made it. I edited it down to a 10-minute and 47-second video.
Awesome.
From the about hour that it was of like all of it. I edited it down to 10:47. I'm like, you know what, 10's a pretty magic number to go for into the video.
Sounds absolutely perfect. Yeah, if you ever want to like DM me the link, I would love to check it out.
Oh hell yeah, let me just get it. Get shareable link. There we go.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, so we're basically going to be doing top 5 games that we played, and I guess I will go first. And I got to go over here, make sure that I got it down. Also, I need to make sure that I have our names up. So basically, like I told Dark, we're kind of starting at number 5, working our way down. Dark apparently didn't have them like aligned properly.
I have them now aligned.
So okay, so he has them now aligned, but yeah, so we're gonna be going top to bottom, or number 5, working to number 1, and I think if it's all right with Dark, we'll probably stop at number 2, and that's when we'll give our honorable mentions, I think.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Because,
Awesome.
you know, they usually do that before they announce the number 1.
Right. And that's exactly what I thought. I want to try and see if I could guess Dark's list, but we'll cross that bridge once we reach number 2. So, yeah. I guess I'll go ahead and go first. So, I got my list here, and let's get started. So, basically, this game is very different from what I usually play. And it's a game that I had a lot of fun playing, and I thought I'll go ahead and give it a shot, see what it's like. Played through it, and because it was so different, it took a little bit to get used to, but I end up loving it. So, that game happens to be, I have to make sure I set everything up properly. Damn it. Sorry, I got like so many scenes, and I'm trying to do this properly. It's just I don't want to.
You got it.
It's just I don't want to screw this up. So.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a little bit of an awkward name, and I want to make sure I get the right right one down, so I just need to do a copy and paste.
Mm-hmm.
Do that. And then I'm also going to be doing a screen share and basically putting up I'm going to be going with trailers for the games that we play, so you're going to be seeing trailers here, and the game that I went with is Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. It is so good. And I gotta make sure to get the right... Apparently that was on the wrong bit there. Come on, there we go. So yeah, I went with Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc as my number 5. This game was just so fun to play. It really is. I think this is my first visual novel that I ever played. It's definitely the first one I ever streamed, and this was different. I will get into my honorable mentions. I kind of explained a little bit about that with Dark. You'll hear about it. But yeah, I really love the story to this. This game was so good. Unique characters, a lot of variety. I ended up discovering that this is actually an anime, and I also heard that there was a manga and all that stuff, but the order of it was not typically to what I was used to. The game itself is the original version of everything. I did see the anime. The anime was pretty on point. The only problem that I would say for the anime is it was... There was moments that I felt like when I was playing the game, it ended up you were able to like digest the moment when you were doing a visual novel, but when you watch the anime, they just kind of they had time restraints, so you couldn't really have a moment like sink in before somebody was talking, and they just kind of move on. So basically what the whole premise of everything is someone is a whole bunch of chaos is going on, and there is all these kids that are well, I guess that's a little bit spoilery, I guess. I need to remember I actually never said any spoilers about this game, so I do apologize for that. Almost had it slip there. Whenever I play a game that is heavily story-driven, I feel... I just have like a certain feeling that I don't really want to spoil... I just can't talk right now.
No.
It's just the way it is when I get excited, and I'm trying to like remember what I want to say here. This is all off the cuff, at least with me. I have nothing written down. I just have the game and just trying to go best of my knowledge. So like, so basically, the character you play as is Motoko, and he is supposed to be like really average, but he's been invited to a school that is filled with a whole bunch of elites. You got someone that is a baseball player, you have someone that is kind of like a fortune teller, you have like a supermodel, someone that actually owns I think her family owns a casino kind of type of thing, so it's like, it's really all over the place. And so someone is this, they get invited, and it's supposed to be a school of elites, and if you graduate, you're basically really successful. And that's kind of the main premise, but once you get into the school, you notice there is a more sinister underbelly of everything. And so all these kids are basically having to go through what is really going on. They're trying to decipher what is happening. Motokuma, as you see on the screen there, he is basically he's a puppet for the real mastermind of everything. and you really hear his so he apparently there's like dozens of these Monokumas, these little twisted bears that are just walking around, and they're just trying to keep everyone in line. They want to try and make sure that no one knows what's going on, all that stuff, and it is really interesting. And basically all these kids are just basically are locked in a school, and they have to essentially fight to the death. Every time you kill somebody, there's a trial, and you have to decipher who killed this person and why. And if you can discover who is behind it all, they would either, if they actually are able to deceive everyone, then everyone is executed, and that person gets to leave the school alive. And if someone is able to decipher who did it and why, that person is then executed, and then it's rinse repeat until there's only one standing. And it was just so different. I love stories to where it constantly makes you think. You don't know where the story's going. There was definitely more than one twist and turn that I had no idea what I was essentially getting into, and because of that, it was just so different. I love it, and I definitely recommend it. You could possibly find this online pretty cheap these days. I don't know what the common price is on a sale, and because I have my new PC, I'm going to go over to my chat PC right now, and I could actually pull up exactly how much you can find it on a discount these days. It's just going to take a few seconds here. But yeah, I want to say, I actually don't know how many hours I have into it, but it's probably around 60 hours maybe, somewhere in there. I forget. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, it's just super fun. I just really love this game. It is just really, really good. And if I can find Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, we'll be in business. Trigger Happy Havoc. These days, you could actually find it on
You
discount.
have 69 hours in Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc.
I knew it was around 60-something. So there you go. Thank you for that, Dark. And you could pretty much find this game on discount for probably around $8 for just the game. I know there's like bundle packs and stuff. I don't know how much those are, but you might be able to find it. It says here on Humble it was the cheapest at around $8 US. So, yeah, I definitely recommend the game. It is, if you like visual novels, it's awesome. It's not currently on sale. I think the actual price is, without a sale, it's basically $20 US, but from what I see, it got as low as $8. I have there's actually a program that I actually do have. It's called Razer Cortex. It's supposed to be like a thing for optimizing games and just kind of like basic tune-up. There's an option for deals, and you could actually see where prices currently are with certain sites and where it's got its cheapest. Apparently, according to Steam, it got as low as only $4, so that's half the price of what Humble's doing. But that's a little interesting anyway. But yeah, hopefully people could find this game on a sale and just really enjoy it, because I freaking love this game. But yeah, that's my number one. And if I don't botch this, there we go. Now, I actually have no clue what Dark has, so I have to like find all of his list on the fly. So
Oh, I can send you the. I'll send you what I have written. Oh wait,
no,
you want me to send you?
No,
Okay.
It'll be
spoils.
easier.
No
It'll be
spoils.
easier.
Got it. All right.
I want to guess it.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, we're going back
Yeah,
and forth like that.
Yeah.
All right.
So now you're up.
All right. So that was your number 5, right?
That was my
Right.
number 5. Danganronpa,
Right.
Trigger, Happy Havoc. I had to abbreviate the ending there for those that are watching the stream.
Yeah. Otherwise, it would go into my category, which would be
Exactly.
fine if I actually played Danganronpa, and then just be like, you know what? I'll just make it number 5 because then we just have it go across the screen on both parts. But no. For me, for my top 5 of games that I played of 2020, that would be for me Resident Evil 7. The Resident Evil which revived the franchise after the shit show. The 5 was meh, and then, well, like 4 was amazing, 5 was meh, 6 was atrocious, and 7 really just, it was the first-person Resident Evil, and it really just brought the franchise back from obscurity, I guess, or not. Obscurity is the complete wrong word with the Resident Evil franchise. Sort of brought it back into sort of like, you know, oh my god, the Capcom can still make good Resident Evil games. Which then, you know, eventually led to the remakes of 2 and 3, and such. But Resident Evil 7 is just super freaking fun. I still need to go through and do all the speed runs of it at some point, but it's just it's fun. The mechanics are great. The puzzles are no, it had a good amount of puzzles. It didn't have like Resident Evil 1 level puzzles, but they were definitely better and more puzzles than 4, which is the only sort of like about 4 is just like it just doesn't have the puzzle and stuff aspect that the first game had, which, you know, some it's like annoying, but sometimes, you know, super fun to do. But yeah, 7, interesting story, interesting characters, some good jump scares, some good scares. Some of the boss battles can be a little but once you get the mechanics kind of figured out, I think I have one glitch where it was like the second boss battle, and it's fucked up, and I couldn't hurt the boss anymore. It was just stuck in a loop of being injured. I was like, well, I have to restart this whole fight now, which I was fine with because I wasted a lot of ammo. But yeah, it's a good game. I recommend it. There's a reason it brought back Resident Evil, and it makes me excited to see 8. That's what I got.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm just kind of... I have to do like a million things here, so I don't have everything set up. So, but once I get the few things out of the way, we'll go ahead and get everything going here. So, my apologies. It's my bad. It's because I just want perfection, and I am not perfect. So, it's column A, column B. So that is Resident Evil 7. And plus, also want to make sure that you guys are able to see the gameplay and, or, well, trailers and stuff, so that way you guys could really see the games and everything that is on. I am the worst. I can't copy and paste. Bam. There we go. Resident Evil 7. yeah, oh, you know what? I actually forgot to do this. I was gonna actually post in my Discord the countdown of Dark's list. I actually have Resident Evil at number 5, but yeah. I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna completely do this. I want to post that in general chat and Discord, and I hope Dark can bear with me on this and be able to not look in my general chat, because I legit want to try and see if I could guess his games.
Okay, I won't look.
I just think it will be interesting. It will just be interesting. A little fun game. At least with me, anyway. And of course, we gotta add Resident Evil 7 to there. And bam. So far so good. The list is coming together. Okay, so my list for number 2 is a game it's a classic game that I really loved enjoying. I'm actually still going through it. And I haven't completed it yet to my liking, but I have completed the main story. It's just other games just kind of popped up, and I had to kind of move on, take care of those. So, yeah. My pick for number 2 is Mafia 1, the OG original. It is just super good. I love the original, Mafia 1, excuse me. Mafia 1 from 2002 is just so good. I absolutely love it. Essentially, it was the remastered version. I guess you could call it a remake. But I would probably classify it as remastered, but that's just me. It's one of those like business terms. Some people say it's a remake, some people say remastered, so on and so forth. But yeah, I just really love this game. If Dark remembers, like there was a podcast, I forget when that was, but it was like one of the first podcasts that I did, because I thought it would be interesting if me and Dark sat down and just talk about like our favorite portions in history. I love the time period in the 1920s with Prohibition and all that. So
I do remember that.
So basically, like, I'm playing the game that I basically love. If people know the series of Artists of the Week that I have been doing, it's all artists that you hear from that time period. So, like, in some of the songs, some of the artists are featured in the Mafia series. Maybe not Mafia 1, but, well, I'm getting to 1. I was actually gonna do it today, but I kind of had to pull Artist of the Week just to make sure that we don't go overboard and go into like, a 3-hour stream. I wanted to cut it down and condense it, so hopefully we could keep this stream under 2 hours, but sometimes passion just gets the better of us, and plus I wanted to make sure that we had time to bring up Dark up to speed on Ubisoft and Star Wars, because I know he's gonna love that. At the very least, he's curious. But anyway, but yeah, I really do love the Mafia series, and there's just something that is about the original that I really love. The voice acting is probably not the greatest. The voice acting can use a little bit of work, but all in all, I really do love the Mafia series. It's just super good. So, yeah, it's my number 2, and I just just really enjoy it. So yeah, Mafia 1, and I really do recommend the game. So that is my number 2. And I gotta make sure to copy and paste that.
I just want to point out it's a little confusing you saying number 2. We're going backwards from 5.
Oh shit! Was that number? Did I say number 2? I meant to say number 4.
Yep. You said
My
number
bad.
1 as well.
My
on
bad.
5.
I was thinking number 2 because that was the second one that I went with. That I'm talking
Yeah,
about. So
I know what you're. I know, but
my mind's everywhere. I'm sorry.
I just want to make sure, like, everyone understands we're going back from 5. Because who starts a top 10 list at 1? Who's gonna watch to the end? Man, I really wonder what they thought 10 was. It's like, man, this is my top 10. Here's number 1. Number 10 will surprise you.
Yeah, that it was only because of it's all because my mind. It's I'm trying to do stuff on like here's the thing. Dark has to just sit here and just listen. That's all he's got to do. Meanwhile, I'm pulling up like video, which is still playing, mind you, and also like I'm trying to look at OBS. I'm trying to, and plus I still got to pull up Dark's list. So, well, his list for his picks, his top 5, and I got to post that in Discord. So, anyway, but yeah. My bad, slip of the tongue. Not number 2, it's number 4. I was thinking number 2 as in this is my second pick that I went with so far. But yeah, it's my number 4. It's my number 4. My bad. But yeah, that's my number 4. And Dark?
Yep, hold on, I just got messaged. Someone just messaged me.
It's all good.
Okay, there we go. That's taken care of. All right. So number 4 for myself will be another game similar to the last one, and I mentioned it in the last one. The Resident Evil 2. I think it's a remake. I think it's a remake, or is it remaster? There's
business terms.
There is a difference between a remake and a remaster.
Yeah,
but. Whatever it is, just Resident Evil 2. I think it's I don't remember which one it is. But that Resident Evil 2, holy shit. That is a phenomenal game. Like, and I played the shit out of it. I have 46.6 hours, and I've completed all the achievements on Steam for it. I loved Resident Evil 2. It was so good. The fun puzzles, just not crazy bullshit with stuff like I 100% thought like some of the challenge achievements for like the doing all the tofu runs and that I would never be able to do. But I somehow did them in, like, remarkably little time, all things considered. But it was just fun. And, even in the most frustrating parts of the game, there's some frustrating parts with those challenges. But all in all, I just loved it so much. I just played through literally all of it. And it was just fun the whole way through. The two different storylines, they're similar enough, but also a little bit different. I mean, you're going through the same areas, but like different stuff is happening. It's kind of cool going through both like Claire and Leon's playthroughs. And like just little differences in what they do, which make them unique and interesting to play through when you do that. But God, it was just I'm trying to think of what else. Like it was just great. And this is possible because of like I said, Resident Evil 7. Because of Resident Evil 7, they made the 2 remake, which I think everyone agrees the Resident Evil 2 remake is just god tier. It's just one of the best Resident Evil games. Like, it's just super fun, and yeah, it's just great. Also, way exceptionally improved dialogue than the original game. Boy howdy, the original Resident Evil games, their original dialogue. Whew, boy, you can tell what year those games were made, because like the first Resident Evil game was made back when, if anyone's ever played the really old games, like where they have live action cutscenes and they have what you could literally say is video game acting. If you'd know what that meant if you've seen any of the acting in like really old games, like Command and Conquer. The early ones had those live action. Well, actually, Command and Conquer, at least in the Red Alert series, still has the live action videos, but like, God, just so cheesy and just poorly, just shit dialogue. It's like, man, what a breath of fresh air to have it be, good dialogue. But I never played the original RE2, but I have to say, just the remake is just, from people who have played it, is just phenomenal. And I was really glad when I got my new computer, that I could actually play it, because I could barely run the demo on my laptop. So, really happy I finally got around to playing that game. Same with 7.
Kind of funny that both of our number 4s are, well, I went with the original of my pick, and you went with the remake of yours, and it was kind of like the polar opposite, because like I said in Mafia 1, the voice acting is not that great. It's not the best, but you were saying that in the original Resident Evil 2, it's just there was definitely a lack of quality voice acting at the time, so it was just all about mostly gameplay. So I know exactly what you mean by that. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's always great watching back the old games. It's like, man, the standards have really changed.
Yeah, I know.
Like, people take the acting in video games seriously now.
Yeah, it is one of the things for sure. And also, we are coming up on the hour. Should we do clips or go through?
I didn't have any clips for this week.
you don't have any no clips at all?
Nope. No clips. I didn't realize we were doing clips too. I thought we were.
Yeah, we're still doing clips. We're still doing clips.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize we were still doing clips.
Yeah, I don't know if I made that clear in what I sent, but
you may have. Don't remember.
Okay. Yeah, we were still doing clips. I did cut out.
Can you capitalize the R in remake? That's bugging me.
Yeah, I'm doing this completely on the fly, so
I'm just staring at it. I'm like, please. That's bugging me. Sorry.
Well, do they actually put remaster in the title, or do they? I'm trying to go by like what Steam would have down for it.
Well, it just has it as Resident Evil 2 because the original one isn't on there. But I'm trying.
It's just like whenever because like, for example, like whenever I do the podcast, I used to capitalize E for episode, and then after a while, it's like, well, I want to capitalize the actual name of the podcast. I could give a shit if
It is a
E-
remake. I just had to Google that because Steam didn't say anything, but it's classified as remake.
Okay. Okay, so that would make sense. Okay, well, I did plan on doing clips. I don't know what to say because I thought I put that down.
Maybe you did. Maybe I just glossed over it. I don't know.
I may have gotten rid of those, damn. Because I actually have a bunch of clips, and I was looking at some of them. Because Dark doesn't, I think I want to pull up those other ones. And plus, since it's the raw file, I'm not going to be able to get another chance to do this, so I guess I'll go ahead. Once again, on the fly. Gotta remember where I put that. I can never think properly whenever I'm trying to talk and search for something. Oh yeah, there it is. Hopefully I could I forget which one it is, so just gotta pop this in here. So I'm gonna go with 2 extra clips that I was gonna play them, but I decided to. I cut them out because reasons. Oh my god, is that? Damn it! It copied over my own. Okay, because I think I had 2 clips, and I'm still seeing 2. Don't know what just happened. My own technical difficulty. Let's go ahead and this one.
You can make nuggets out of. You can.
And what happened to my other clip? Because I had 2. I think I went with crap. I don't know. I don't know which clip I have. We'll go with time. 1:14. Okay, so it is that one. Okay, we definitely want to go with this one. It was.
Oh, to do that, you can just pick it up.
So I might be going a little over, but it's only because I'm covering for Dark here with extra clips of moi. Now I'm just lining them up how I'm wanting to do this. So these are the raw files that I have. Wait. Crap. I think I was gonna only go with 2, but I essentially have 3. Ugh. Now I don't know which one it is. Perfect. This is taking way long. I usually have this all prepared, and it's the utter worst. I think I have everything.
Poor sweet not good.
Okay, so that is that one. Okay, so I think that is it. I'm just gonna double check and make sure that, so Dark, I'm gonna temporarily have you muted just so that way I could see if this is the clip that I want to go with. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah, okay. So, sorry that took freaking forever, guys. That's my bad. Most of this stream was just pretty much constantly on the fly. So, with that, I also need to make sure that I have the right scene here for you guys. So, I gotta switch out the windows. I have a specific window for when I do, like, stuff here. So I have, like, a window for when I'm doing the game list, and I have a window for when I do clips. So this first clip is something that is pretty unique. So what you are seeing here is Momo's channel, and she did something really interesting. This actually took place just a few days ago. And what I saw was just pure hilarious and gold. I think you guys might be able to see what is happening, but if you guys don't fully understand, I'll fill in the blanks afterwards. So here's the first clip for it.
Tell us to do that. You can just pick it up.
Okay, so I'm gonna have, let's see, I want to have boy A be Taka and boy B be Remy.
All right.
Man, this shit is easy, like stealing candy from a baby.
Yeah, says the guy who didn't even lift a finger.
Oh, I drove the truck, dude. Plus, I looked that thing down on the bed. I did plenty of shit, and you fucking know that. You tell me right now, your sister ain't a press after this. No more shit, okay? I'm telling you right now. Tell you right now.
I don't know how he activates his psychic powers. That's how I assume he does it.
I give me that look, man. I ain't an astral like you, which you are clearly an astral.
Thank you. I'd forgotten. Thank you for reassuring my worth of self. Buddy at the network.
No, you are valid.
I'm tired as hell. 3 scooters in one night ain't easy. You need psychic powers to get away with a hole this big.
Oh! So you get exhausted when you use your powers and stuff around that hole!
Those things weigh close to 100 kilograms, man! No possible human could lift that shit! Lifting 3 of those is gonna wear me out.
But like, you're not actually lifting them, right? You're using your psychic power to do all the work for you, right? Because again, I know exactly what an astral is. I'm knowledgeable about this.
Why is Bill Burr against me?
It's not physically exhausting. I don't really know how to describe it. It's like I get woozy in the head. I've had a bit to drink.
Woozy? So you basically just feel dizzy and shit?
Oh, yeah, using your ability uses lots of concentration. For me, I gotta focus on my target super hard and keep doing that as long as I'm transporting it. Otherwise, I fall out of the sky.
That's pretty crazy. It's a good thing we're standing out of frame here, by the way. But I know, you know, I know what it's like when you get a headache when you just think too hard and like your brain starts hurting and stuff. So I kind of get what you mean. But yeah, how about there, man?
Young Gilbert Gottfried.
Hold on. Ha! Well, I so I kind of get what you mean. Good job out there today, man. Want some water?
Sure, thanks. So, by the way, how much do you think these will sell for?
If we sell all the parts, I'd say about 150,000 yen.
Only 150K? What the hell? That's nothing. I worked my ass off to get these things here. My mind off. Don't you guys have any other buyers? I know for a damn fact these things could sell for way more.
He does a really good Gilbert Gottfried, man. That hit home to me. That hit. I was clipping shit left, right, and center when I saw this. I stopped when I said, dude, I'm just doing too much clips. I can't clip. I have to show the whole thing.
Oh my lord.
Oh my god. It really helps. It really helps if you know who Bill Burr is and know who Gilbert Gottfried. The guy actually does kind of sound like those guys. It's hilarious. I thought that was soup. Oh my god, it was so good. So, that clip did go on a little bit long. I think I was just gonna do the Gilbert Gottfried, but I had timestamp, but it ended up getting lost because I'm just all over the place. So because of that, I think I'm gonna skip this clip and go right into the next. So I just got 2 more clips here, and so just real fast, for those that didn't know what was going on in the previous clip, so what happened is Momo and a group of friends are voice actors, essentially, and they were playing a visual novel. And what happened is they had a essentially an MC to kind of like narrate and push the narrative forward, and he was kind of like almost like the director. Okay, I want Momo and Taka to do this character and that character and play it out. So they were playing a visual novel, but you were being immersed by having each you had voice acting with the visual novel, and it was so interesting. And some of them, because they realized, well, it probably won't be as entertaining if we just stick to what is there. So there was even moments to where they went off. They went off the cuff, and they decided to they added their own stuff to it, and I was laughing for so hard, and it was a good idea. Whoever it was that came up with it, like, I now cannot watch a visual novel and like, this is a better version. You actually have like amateur voice actors who are streamers, and they basically add voices to the character. And I thought that was real interesting, and it was so funny to see these guys just really talented. Really freaking talented. It was really good. I actually downloaded that portion of the stream, so if anyone's curious and like want to check it out, like, I will be more than happy to like pull it up for you guys, and we could do like a watch party and just see what they did, because it was so good. Yeah, I think I got 2 clips of it, and I was like, done. They're already telling another joke as I'm getting the next clip, so. But yeah, that's what happened. Also, with the next clip that I'm about to show you is a little bit interesting. So, for those that don't know, basically, Rust RP blew up almost overnight. So apparently, there was a server that wanted to try and get like a whole bunch of streamers and just roll with it. So there's been RP streamers, there's been Shroud's been on it, Grims, as you're about to see, he was on it. Grims wants to get into Rust, but he doesn't want to go into like hardcore servers. He wants to learn the mechanics first before he tries to do like PvP, because he's a PvP guy. He likes doing games like PUBG and Call of Duty, all that stuff. And so basically, Grims does not know the individuals he's about to run into. I don't know how much he knows of these individuals, but it was hilarious. What you're about to see was completely RP'd out, and I don't know if Grimm's understood what was going on. But here's what happened.
Poor sweet not good.
Whoa.
And then he also said, human meat not good, yeah? Don't eat, yeah? I want to eat humans. I told him, you know. This has that nice, like, salt flavor that is kind of, like, irreplaceable. There's nothing better than a delicious dick. Oh, I'm scared.
I'm hearing... Am I hearing something?
Hello? We're just talking about sucking dick.
Grims, you have no idea what you're getting into. Oh my god! It gets worse!
Oh no.
Oh my god, this is creepy.
It's a nice place to hide.
It's a mini oven, you know, a very, very small oven, you know, something, you know, you can only fit like, you know, bread and cheese sticks, mozzarella sticks. Definitely not a human or human flesh of any sort.
I love cheese sticks.
Yeah. You know, yeah, cheese sticks. Yeah, they're delicious. Totally non-human.
Do you like wieners? They're like the size of cheese sticks.
You mean like Vienna sausages? Kinda. Is that what you meant?
Kinda like this? Sausages? Yeah, sausages.
I think I'm just gonna take my Vienna sausage and go ahead and turn off the oven now. It was nice meeting you two.
Oh my god.
The fuck? Oh my lord.
Here's the great bit. Here's the great bit. Oh my god. Welcome to the Lewdcast. These are Momo's friends. So apparently, Momo has a group of friends that she hangs out with, and they basically, if you ever watched the anime Ghost in the Shell First Assault Online, every single time when Momo and her friends get together, I swear to God, I feel like I'm in a room with a whole bunch of Tachikomas, and they're all just talking to each other. They have like all these adorable voices, and they really do sound like anime characters. There's only one problem. They are lewd as fuck. They went into talk in what you just saw. They went into talking about gonads and gushers, and it's all wink and nod references. And it caught Grimm's completely off guard. Needless to say, apparently, in Rust right now, Momo's friends are cannibals. So they were basically near Grimm's place, and that was from the first clip that you saw at Grimm's. Grimm's was just at his place, just kind of getting loot together and just like sorting things out. I think he has like a garden and stuff. So Momo and his and her friends, I believe the voices that you just heard is I know one of them is Iron Mouse, and the other one I think is Snuffy. Not 100% sure. And they're all streamers, and they're on Twitch. They're all VTubers. They're hilarious. They can be a lot of fun and entertaining to watch. But yeah, and so basically, Momo's friends are a bunch of cannibals, and they RP'd with Grimm's, and basically he got eaten to death. As you saw, he was trying to find a way to get out. He ended up getting his ear sliced, and then they just went to town. And then Grimm's had a blast hanging out with them. he started like saying how fun it was. It was scary because like he really felt like the tension, but also it was a lot of comic relief with the wink and nod references.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So it was a bundle of laughs. Iron Mouse actually ended up getting hosted by Grims. Grims in Iron Mouse's chat said something along the lines, "I hope my ear fed you well." And she was like apologizing. She had no idea. She thought she was just dealing with just some random, and then the whole time it was like, nope, he's a streamer, he's a PvP guy, and so she's apologizing. I believe she even apologized on Twitter because Grims put up a video saying, I think these are my neighbors. So yeah, it was gold on my end. Like, it was just so hilarious. And
oh god.
And just yeah, it was a lot of fun seeing that. I got basically both. I forget if I got Iron Mouse's her side of what happened with Grimm's, but I definitely did get Grimm's side of everything, and it is just so funny. So basically, I have like an extended version of what you just saw. Him getting killed, him saying that he's, not to worry about it. Grimm's is a super nice guy, so, but yeah, it's all fun. But yeah, that's actually what's been going on Rust. So if anyone's ever been seeing like Rust kind of like blow up, that's because a lot of popular streamers are on it and a lot of RPers, and Grimm's is completely new. I think he was calling NoPixel Pixel RP. He's so fresh to everything, he has no idea. So it's kind of funny, like, this is like his introduction to RP, and he didn't even plan on it. So, but anyway. And with that, we're gonna move on back to the list again. So, I believe I have mine already up. Yes, I do. Okay. So, now I just gotta make sure I have everything here. Yeah. Okay. Just gotta switch back to the previous thing here. Okay, so my number 3 that I went with, and it is 3. My number 3 pick that I went with for games that I played for 2020 is a game that kind of it was a game that I actually saw beforehand, and I always wanted to see it come to PC, but it never happened. So, and basically with everything, I really wanted to see it through and just kind of see this game be brought to life on PC, because I never thought it was going to happen, and thank God it actually did. So my number 3 pick is Persona 4 Golden. It is one of the best games I ever played in 2020. It really is. The game has an amazing story. It's full of life, full of characters. I had moments in this game that it didn't happen elsewhere. And it was just so entertaining to just kind of go through this game. And it's kind of funny how my number 3 and my number 5 pick are both games I would have passed up on easily, because they're high schoolers, but it's the storytelling that goes along with it that really makes it for me. you really do get invested in the characters. You really want to see where the story goes. It is so unique and interesting. And the other thing I do love about it is they actually do have actual anime footage. It's what they use for cutscenes. I know I was going to see that from, well, I ended up seeing it from Persona 5, which I still would hope happens, but we'll see what happens with that. At least, of course, I'm speaking on behalf of PC gamers. Hopefully it does make a full release, whether it be Persona 5 Royale or the original Persona 5. I still want to play that. I do have Persona 5 Strikers, but it's very, very story-based, that some of the stuff is crossing over into Strikers, so I basically have to play Persona 5. I already got that by playing another game, and it didn't really bother me with the other game, but with Persona, it's a little bit different because it's more storytelling than what you would think. And once again, whenever I come across heavy story-driven games, I feel I shouldn't talk about the main story, but believe me when I tell you, you will get invested into these characters. The characters are so lovable and likable. I will say, playing Persona 4, I was more interested in the gameplay in the beginning. It was very slow-paced for me, getting through it. And as much as I enjoyed the whole game and stuff, it story-wise didn't really pick up basically at the end. It went 0 to 60 in just a span of just a few minutes. And because once I saw what was going on, like how the dungeons are implemented and like the story that they tell about this dimensional world and the real life world and how those two interact and all that, it was just so different. And because once I saw that, I kind of like understood where the story was going, but it was really a case of like who done it and who's next. And when you see that and you see the characters, the voice acting was top notch. That's what really drove me in. And because I think the voice actors did a really great work capturing their character. They really played their character very well, and that really helped with the immersion. And without it, I don't think it would be the same story. But basically from a writing perspective, storytelling perspective, and from a voice acting perspective, and plus Persona has some of the best music I've ever heard in gaming, period. And it constantly gets better. I went with the artist of Persona 4. I'm drawing a blank on her name, but I think her name is like Shoko or something like that, if I remember right. The voice acting, the music is just so good. I do prefer Persona 5 over Persona 4, but even Persona 4 like really had some songs. I think it was Reach Out was one of my favorite ones. It's basically like Last Surprise from Persona 5, but yeah. But yeah, really enjoy this game. Highly, highly recommended. I think had I not played the other games, this very easily would have even ranked even higher on the list that I have. But as of course, we'll see what comes up in the rest. So yeah, this is my number 3 pick of what I played in 2020.
Alrighty. Then we'll... God, there we go. So we'll move on to my third one then, which I have chosen as my number 3, Yakuza 0. Now, I have not finished this game. Not even remotely close. I am still on chapter 2. I have like 19, 20 hours in that game. I have to eventually at some point get back to playing it. But it is, for what I've seen of the story, I'm loving the story. Well, I'm liking the story. I'm loving the characters. I'm absolutely loving the antics and like the side quests and everything. The mechanics are fun. Fuck Japanese chess. That's just bullshit and stupid and shouldn't exist. God, Shoku, whatever the fuck it's called. Just stupid, dumb. I don't like it. Yeah, it's kind of a surprise. I didn't think I would like it as much as I ended up. Which you might think I haven't played it in a long time, but I also got into RP and I've been doing that a lot. So that's one of the reasons I have not been. I've probably should get back to playing it at least once a week, at least, so I can, work towards several hundred hours needed to beat the game, or however much it's going to take. But yeah, it's super interesting, super fun. I just want to do everything in the game. It's just one of those games, and I really appreciate games. They're like, there are a lot of games where it's like completing it feels like a chore, but this game, it just feels like everything's just so good and fun to do. And sometimes even the side quests and that are more fun than the main quest stuff. And it's just a game that makes me want to just play it. Or when I'm playing it, I just want to do everything. And I can't say that's something that like every game can do. So I'll give Yakuza that for like when you're in it, you just want to do it all. But yeah, that's a game. At some point, I'm going to start playing it on the regular again, and I'm going to finish it. Not anytime soon. But, like, I don't know, maybe by the end of the year.
I am speechless. I didn't even think this even broke the top 10. You know what? I was going to guess Dark's list. I throw in the towel. I officially throw in I did not think this was on the list. Wow. Oh my god. I legit don't know what to say. I didn't think that broke the top 5. God. Let alone top 10. Really? Holy shit. And
Gobsmacked.
And I thought Star Wars Squadrons was going to be on that list. Wow. Okay. That is, I believe I was actually looking up Star Wars Squadrons, so that way I get the proper spelling as I about to post that in my Discord. I officially thrown in the towel. I did not see that coming. Wow. That is... I would say more, but... Well, I mean, to be fair, I guess we could go ahead and just kind of just throw this one out there that yeah. It's Dark just picked my next one. I'm kind of cheating a little bit. it's both Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Like a Dragon is my next pick. So, yeah,
I'll allow it.
The only reason why is because I can't pick. They're both just so good. And just basically a reflection of just what Dark just said. Like, it's Yakuza 0 is really good. I will say, at least in the beginning, there is definitely side content that does trump a lot of the story, the main story, especially in the beginning. There's definitely more side content, more so in 0, I would say, which just makes Yakuza 0 so special. It's a minigame simulator. The entire series is a minigame simulator. I wasn't ever gonna say anything spoilery, but let's just put it this way. There's one spoiler I would give, but you have to play multiple games in order to see it fully realized. So the thing about Yakuza that makes it so different from everything else, it's nothing like any other game you think of. A lot of people compare Yakuza to GTA. This is not GTA. The reason why is because you have to play multiple games in order to see it come to fruition. But there is a character by the name of Kiryu in the game. If you play out the story from 0 to 6, you would notice that Kiryu is in the Yakuza. Yes. Where GTA just likes to talk about just different characters and stuff with the underworld and gangs and that sort of thing. The Yakuza is heavily featured in the game for sure. But if you play the story and you follow the characters throughout multiple games, this mobster that you run into morphs and changes. Yakuza is not what you think. Kiryu is an individual that starts out as a mobster. You have to play through multiple stories and multiple games. But what it happens in the end, this guy wants to open up an orphanage for underprivileged kids. That's the story that they tell. It's all about a story of a guy who's in the Yakuza where it's all rough, cutthroat, and the whole time, this guy is wanting to leave, and he essentially wants to open up an orphanage for underprivileged kids. It's something that is so unique that no other game tells. And the reason why it's so different from GTA, because GTA, they're in 5, they barely start mentioning kids, and even still they're teenagers, because with GTA, it's so violent in the way it is, they want to get that M rating for their games, so that way because if you have kids being killed in games, obviously that's gonna also be labeled as porn at that point. It might as well be, because that's how violent. You don't want to see kids get hurt. It's just the way it is, and I would completely agree with that. Like, there should be a limit to video games, and because like even in like Skyrim, I believe they do have kids, but kids are like invincible. Well, in Yakuza, who tells a story about someone wanting to open up an orphanage? And it's all because Kiryu himself was he was an orphan. He grew up in an orphanage. And that's the story that they tell. Now, even with that said, that's the end result. But every game in Yakuza 0 tells its own story. It tells something different each time. And even though what I just gave you is a spoiler, yes, but it's a spoiler that is the end result of the entire series as a whole, at least with Kiryu's story. But it's not the same with every game little by little. And that's what makes it so different. And I've only played up until 2, and I actually went back to do Yakuza 0 just simply because of how different it is, and I had an idea of being able to take Yakuza, and I wanted to do a video, but 2 things happened. Basically, I already deleted the all the video that I had because it took up so many gigs. I was going to take up an entire terabyte. The video I was using was kind of very high quality, and so because of that, I couldn't do it anymore. But it just so happens, even if it survived, even if I didn't delete it, it would have been deleted anyway because that same hard drive crapped out like a few weeks ago. So, but yeah, that's Kiryu's story. But there is also Yakuza Like a Dragon, which you are seeing now, and very different from what you play from Kiryu's story, because Kiryu's story is a beat 'em up. While they did a lot of things different with Yakuza Like a Dragon, they turned it turn-based. So it's actually more closer to that of Persona, and there was somebody who's stops by my channel, loves the Yakuza series, loves Persona, and they said very early on in my playthrough, I'm getting strong vibes of Persona over here, and by God, it is true. Like there's a lot of references, or well, not references to Persona, but like it has a lot of the features that is in Persona. Of course, just like typical Yakuza, it's very heavily story driven, very different from what you see from the previous installments of the game. And there is some references to previous, kind of like what I was saying about Persona, is there's a lot of crossover to like a previous installment. I can't play Persona 5 Strikers without playing Persona 5, the original, or Persona Royale in order to see the game. Because I was spoiled basically the end of 6. Apparently something really big happens in 6 that people had to wait until Yakuza 7 in order to see what happens. Yakuza 7 is Yakuza Like a Dragon. So they changed the name for whatever reason. And you follow the story of Ichiban Kasuga, and it's definitely worth a try. There is a friend of mine, actually it's Delson, that I mentioned earlier, that I did a podcast with. He actually said, "Do you think I should play Yakuza Like a Dragon?" And I said yes. So I was even trying to get him to hopefully take a look at Yakuza 0 as well, but let's just hope that happens. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Yakuza series, and I just now realized I don't have the proper screen up, so I apologize for everything. I was looking at everything, and yeah, I forgot to switch OBS. That is my bad. So, but anyway, like I was saying, Yakuza, it's just really awesome, and I just freaking love it. So, yeah, and like I said earlier, I did not think that Yakuza was even in Dark's thoughts, so, but anyway, moving on.
All right. Yeah. No, I did like the game. I did. I really did. I mean, you keep not believing it, but I did like that game. I don't know why you don't believe me.
Well, I understand you really love RP. You really do. But it's just, I recommended the game, and you say you like it, but like it, you just never played it, and I don't know.
I played 25 hours.
And I have almost, I forget now. Like, I think I'm up to 200 between 2 playthroughs. It's only because there's one part in the game that I really love, and it takes forever. Actually, to be fair, there is actually a really long side story that me and Josh really do love, and we actually just spend hours just doing that. That actually ate up a lot of the... So, yeah. If you take all of that out, it probably dwindles it down closer to 120, but it's... like, it takes up a lot of time just doing that. And there's 2 of them. So, it's... yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, there's 2 side stories that are really long. That alone eats up a lot of time, and it's really good. Anyway. Sorry for talking over you, because
no,
I believe this is...
number 2. My number 2. Which, I think you'll be able to guess. You were close. You were off by 1. This one is Star Wars Squadrons. My number 2 pick is Star Wars Squadrons, which was a, I'll be honest, for a game that was mostly meant to be multiplayer, did not expect 14 missions of pretty good, the Star Wars, the Squadrons campaign was good, and I was not expecting 14 missions. Wait, was it 14? Wait, is it 14? I'm trying to remember if it's the 2 prologue missions in 12, or if I'm thinking there's 14 missions, so there'd actually be 16 because of the 2 prologues. Either 14 or 16 missions. I'm blanking right now. On if the prologue missions were included in that number I just pulled out of my head. But they were Star Wars. It was so great. I loved the story. Yeah, I liked the story of it. I liked the characters. Like, interacting with your squad mates was cool. I liked the personalities of them, the squad dynamics, and like the little tiny bits of like lore drops of like nods and references to other material. Just, it helps with the feel of like all of it taking place in the same universe. When, you get some references to like, some pretty big figures in the galaxy that people reference. It's like, yeah, that makes sense for people to reference stuff like that, and that people would understand that, and just really gives a feel that, that everything is happening in one galaxy instead of just like, it's just a bunch of stuff that just, it happens in the same galaxy, but none of it feels connected. Except in hindsight. But, that's what I have to say on the campaign and story side of it, which just blew me away. I was not expecting it to be as good as it was, because it's mostly a multiplayer game, which the multiplayer, I have never been so good at a multiplayer game, ever. I could probably play in like a tournament. When my computer actually is working fine and my internet's not giving me lag, going 20-5 or 20-2 or something like that on my interceptor runs are not unheard of. I don't know what it is about the game, but just something about the controls and that, it just works for me. And it's like, yeah, it's one of the only games ever that I would even consider like, you know what, I could probably be, playing in a tournament, maybe. But, yeah, just the mechanics are so smooth, and it's kind of sad that it won't get any more large updates. But the fact that they gave us 2 more ships just on its own is incredible for the fact that they were like, there'll be no DLC or anything after. And they gave us like the TIE Defender and the B-Wing, which are both, I was questioning how they'd fit in to the roster because of, you know, how the balance of a TIE Defender being like one of the best starfighters the Empire had. But they got the balance on that really, really good. And it's one of those ships where if you're like super good with it, you can dominate people. But if you're not, you get slaughtered. Like I've slaughtered a lot of TIE Defender pilots who are just not good and don't know how to properly use it, because it's very easy to get killed if you're not paying attention. And one of the things I love is that they went all in with the Empire, all the ships with no shields, but they're highly maneuverable, fast, and deadly. And the Rebel ships are also, you know, they're fast, maneuverable, but they have shields. And like they just really stuck with what those fighters were, what their niche is. They didn't do like what a lot of games, like a lot of other Star Wars games do with the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter. The exact same, they have the same stats. Just like it actually, like, you know, each ship flies differently. It plays differently. Both the factions have their own unique play styles. It's just such a good feel, and just makes me happy from like a gameplay perspective, but also from a Star Wars fan perspective, where it's like, man, these ships are actually, you know, being portrayed as they are portrayed in the movies and in the lore. And it's just a game that makes me happy that it exists, and I'm so glad that they did not compromise on this game. That they didn't like make it for like that they made it this niche game for people who love this kind of series. Because otherwise, I don't think I would like it as much if they had toned it down for like the casual, just like just the casual player. But yeah, excited. Sad there's not really going to be anything new. Unless they surprise us again, but I highly doubt that. I think what we got, like the new map and new fighters, is about all we're going to get, except for like balancing and performance updates, which is nice that they're still doing that. But here's hoping, you know, just it is one of my favorite Star Wars games of all time now. And it is just super fun.
Yeah, that was at least one of the games that I thought was on the list for sure. It's recent memory, and I figured, well, since it's an online multiplayer, it's gonna be something that, at the very least, is gonna be mentioned, because it is fun to have a game to just kind of play with friends, especially for individuals that really love kind of a movie franchise, and so there's like that also tied to it as well. So it's like not just you know, the movie, and it's kind of awesome to like play a multiplayer together. So and I know you mentioned it before, like they're not just made up ships, like these are actual ships that are featured in the movies. So yeah, good stuff. Now we are gonna go into basically talking about so now we're all down to number 1, and with that I figured
honorable mentions.
So yeah, I guess we'll just keep going it back and forth. So like one of
or we could just do bullet point sort of ones, because this just honorable mentions, just like try and keep it a little short, because otherwise we might as well have done a top 10.
Exactly. One of my honorable mentions is Metal Gear Solid 5. It would, I'm pretty sure it's in my top 10 if I'm not mistaken, but even if I do know I have this categorized because I wasn't sure if Dark was going to be doing a top 10 or a top 5, and I wanted to cover my bases. And yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5 is on the list, and it would have been mentioned, but it's just one of those games to where it was good, but it was so repetitive. That was the only thing that kept it from going up even higher. Had that been... Now, to be fair, Kojima was a part of the production, and because he was fired or let go, whatever the reason, they took what they had and they just slapped together the ending, and it was all good, but it just... When you see blatant copy and paste, you're redoing missions, it was just so much that that's the only reason why it's not further up the list. Otherwise, yeah. But yeah, that's one of my honorable mentions. Dark, what about you?
I feel like we should just say all of our honorable mentions.
Just go. Okay.
Just go through it'll be faster.
Okay. Yeah, another honorable mention was Witcher 3. Honestly, there's no... For me, it was such a toss-up between Witcher 3 and... what was it? Danganronpa. But between the two, I was kind of more of a fan of Danganronpa than Witcher 3. Witcher 3 is still good, but in easily one of the best DLCs ever played. The expansions on it was incredible. They added full content to it. So, Witcher 3, not top 5, sadly, but I easily see why it's on a lot of people's favorite games of the year, or game of the year, or favorite games of all time. It does have it in spades. It's just, if I liked more of the theme of like the Renaissance era, it would probably be higher on the list. That would probably actually be the only thing. But for me, it's not like a super negative. It's just it's just it's a time period that I like, but it's not really one that interests me. Case in point, Mafia was on the list, so like that was a kind of time period, but yeah, anyway. And then I think a little bit better than Witcher 3 I felt was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. It's just a classic game, and it's just really good. Everything about it was... Every GTA game that came after San Andreas has to copy the formula that they did there. It was just so different. It's the only game to where you could take CJ and, like, he actually has a weight class. So if you want to put muscle on him, you can. You could also meme and just, like, go to a restaurant and just constantly just eat to make him fat, that sort of thing. Like, it was just... It's just a lot of fun. I love the radio in the game. The radio is some of the best I've ever heard. Not just music, but also I really like the music in Vice City. Vice City, top to bottom. Like, even the pop songs are good in Vice City. Vice City Stories is one of the best of all time. But a lot of the talk radio is really good. If you're into politics, it is kind of funny to see, like, memed versions of, like, the right and left, but it's just very comical, very funny, a lot of the talk radio. I just real quick, I mean, like, in GTA 4, like, there was a fortune teller, and basically she would try and trick you into wanting to try and get more money out of you, so she would, if she sees that she's not getting any more money, she would, like, turn you gay for some reason, and just like I see it right now. You're in a room with another man. Oh, I don't want to hear this. It's very comical how it could get, and that's in GTA 4. But yeah, and I really like stand-up comedy. They had like actual sets in GTA 4 of people stand-up. They did Cat Williams. I think Ricky Gervais was another guy. And I thought that was awesome. And I kind of wanted to see that make a comeback in GTA 5, but whatever. And then, of course, this one easily would have been in my top 3, but sadly, Cyberpunk 2077 is not on the list. And until recently, I heard the worst news I could possibly hear. Cyberpunk 2077 is scheduled to have DLC, and the game is still broken for some people. So,
don't worry, they'll sell the fix along with the DLC.
I hope it's a case to where they're balancing out everything at once, but the company themselves did say they are going to be releasing, they have a roadmap set, and it's just, the game is broken for some people, and it still needs to be fixed. So I'm hoping it's a case to where they would balance it out and just do both at the same time, but if they don't, it looks to be we are going down that path. Like they didn't say we're gonna, they released a video and it's all up online, and it was basically an apology video and just kind of giving some insight to what happened, all that stuff. And it was more of a message to consoles, if anything, but even on PC, with the best PCs, it's still not perfect. So I hope to God that the game still, even with the DLCs, get all cleaned up, everything is good, but that's not the case. We are going down that line of they're gonna ditch the game and just work on the multiplayer and DLC stuff, just so that way they could bleed more money out of this. I hope to God that's not the case, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's pretty much my list for honorable mentions: GTA San Andreas, Cyberpunk 2077, Metal Gear Solid 5, and Witcher 3.
All right, I've got like 5 myself, so I'll just do quick bullet points for mine. Honorable mentions for me for 2020: Resident Evil 3. Didn't quite make the... I didn't have a problem with Resident Evil 3. Yes, it was... Compared to Resident Evil 2, sure, yeah, a disappointment. However, people keep saying it's like Resident Evil 3 was da-da-da-da-da, the remake was... Or I guess this one was a remaster. It's like da-da-da-da-da, blah blah blah, too short, blah 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 blah. But the thing was, like, the original Resident Evil 3 was basically the same thing. It was just Resident Evil 2.5. It was the shortest game in the series, and it's just like, yeah, I would agree with you if the original, if literally all the complaints people said about the remake were what they said about the game when the original game when it first came out, and it's like, okay, fine. I enjoyed the game. I got 22 hours in that game to that 100% of it, which was like, I felt like I got my money worth out of that game. I think a lot of people just thought they put a lot of the development into the multiplayer, which kind of just really didn't kick off at all. Never played it myself. Didn't really tickle my fancy either. But oh well, Resident Evil 3, it was okay. It was good, but not like not top 5 worthy. No Pixel Dating Sim. That was just a fun little meme that actually was semi good and made by actual, fans that actually cared about the storylines and stuff and characters, and the fact that it got a 2.0 update is insane, and that it may still be worked on for just like a game jam sort of thing. That's cool. I look forward to just the stuff that'll come out of that, because it's just a fun it's well written and funny and based off of a lot of storyline. Well, actually, it's a lot of fun, like doing storylines with characters I've never seen or heard about in NoPixel. I'm just like, man, that's pretty cool. Some pretty awesome characters. Helltaker, just a simple, short puzzle dating visual novel-esque kind of thing. Basically that. It was just dumb, funny. It was like it knew what it was, and it was just like, yeah, this is what it is. This is what you're doing. You're just making a harem of demons. Just go to hell, get a harem, however you say that word, demons, and just go crazy. And then flapjacks at the end, or was it pancakes? It was one of the two. That was just dumb fun game. I absolutely love the soundtrack, though. The freaking soundtrack to that bopped. Definitely one of my favorite soundtracks of an indie game. Up there with, I guess Stardew Valley was an indie game. Kind of crazy with how much production and stuff has gone into that and console ports. But up there with Stardew Valley and Doki Doki Literature Club for like favorite indie game soundtracks. Then Henry Stickmin collection. The culminate, because Flash got taken down at the end of 2020. The person who made the Henry Stickmin games made a final mission to culminate all the stuff from previous games he made, and also kind of remade all of his previous games into one big one, which is just full of memes and just absolutely hilarious fails and entertaining successes. It's just, you just have to play the game or watch through someone who plays a lot of it. There was some fails that I would do repeatedly just because they were so funny. I was just like, I don't know why there's one where it's like you choose a disguise and you dress up as a snowman and you move, and one of the guards just yells, "Frosty's escaping," and shoots you. And I don't know why that one was just my favorite. I watched that. I did that fail like 5 times in a row because I just found it so hilarious. It was like my favorite fail. It was just so random and funny. Ugh. But yeah, and it's it's just a fun, a whole bunch of different paths you can take, and it's just awesome seeing all of the different combinations, and it's just a fun game, fun memes, funny jokes, just great. And finally, for honorable mentions, Monster Prom 2 Monster Camp, which was the sequel to Monster Prom, which is a monster visual novel dating sim game. And this one is basically some of the same, except at camp. And I played one playthrough of it, I'll be honest. I haven't played a lot of it, and I've been meaning to play more of it, but from what I played, it's fun. It's got the same sort of charms as the previous game, and just I love the characters and I love the humor in it. And that's my honorable mentions for 2020.
All right. I was pretty much just trying to set up over here for the next group of stuff, so but yeah, it's awesome to continue on here. So my number 1 favorite game that I played for 2020. I mean, it's a classic. It's, well, classic to me, I guess I should say. And it is my favorite game that I played of all time. It has to be, and it could only be one thing. That is, well, if I could get this.
Oh, I thought you wanted me to guess. I'm like,
No. It is
like,
Max Payne 3. Yeah, no, it's all good, man. It's all good. Yeah,
I was like, oh god, he's already said Yakuza.
Yeah, my number one pick is Max Payne 3. It cannot be anything else because it's my number one favorite game that I've ever played ever. It is just so freaking good. I highly love this game. The characters is good. I do play this for the multiplayer, but like even the main story is super good, in my opinion. But yeah, it is just something that I just really love, really enjoy, and I just really love the entire game. It is so fun to just get. I love Max Payne the character. I love Max Payne's story from 1 to 2 and 3 and all that stuff. But the online for me for 3 is where it was at, and it was just a combination of like you get a pretty decent story from the main story, but also at the same time, like even in the multiplayer, it's super good. I joke around with me and my friends by calling Max Payne online sex. Guys, I'm with my girlfriend. I have to go. Like I have a date tonight. Half bottle of Shasta and an All Rush mixtape. Let's go. Like it's that's just how I am with Max Payne. On an occasion, I think I've done this twice already on stream to where I stopped the stream because people have told me, what's your favorite game? Instead of just telling you, I'm going to stop the stream to show you why it's my favorite game. Because it's just so good. I freaking love it. And going back to the story, like Max Payne 1 and 2, the story at its core is just so much better. I think 2 is story-wise is a little bit better. Very convoluted. Probably got to play it a few times to fully understand what's going on. But it's super, super good. I really freaking love the game. And sadly, I did have video that I wanted to show you guys, but I can't because it was on that hard drive that crapped out, so... and there was actually video. I was hoping to make a YouTube video out of it, and because I had like music playing, it was just so fun and entertaining. I freaking love it. It is just so good, and just getting kills and stuff, and I have so much fun right here of what you see on screen. I said and then I just decked this guy, and I'm just having fun. I just love it. I love it so much. It's my favorite game of all time, still has, and I think it always will, just simply because James McCaffrey is Max Payne. He does that character so well. I can't see anybody else doing that voice. I could be here all day just talking about it. It's my favorite game of all time. I love, story-wise, Yakuza's better, but just gameplay overall, what you just saw on screen, I almost died, and I just jumped in the air, reloaded, killed this guy out of nowhere. like, I can't get like these hardcore moments in the game with any other game, and you're seeing it. I just love this game. I absolutely love it. Highly recommend it. It is the funnest thing ever, and I could play this game all day to death. I can't get any other enjoyment from any other kind of type of game like this. I saw a camper right here, so now I'm chasing him, and I'm just gonna this pro strats just people run around with these fucking tank builds, and they try and use like broken weapons that could easily one-shot people. I'm using pistols. Fight me. I love this game. There's a map, a battalion, and all I just use is a melee weapon. It is fun. I love this game so much. I can be here all day just talking about it, but time is of the essence, so I'm gonna move on. It's one of my favorite games. I love it. I love it. It's my number one. All time, always has been, always will since 2012. And I think this thing is gonna stay there possibly to the day I die, because that's how much I love the game. I love the online, love the character, love everything. I just love this game. It's my number one.
All right, and then it should be no surprise to Liv what my number one game is now. I saw him pull it up. So without further ado, my number one game is Colonel Sanders' Dating Sim.
What?
That was a game... No, I'm joking. That came out in 2019. I played that in 2019. No. Discounting Wild West RP, I'd still put Red Dead Redemption 2 as my number one game I played in 2020. It was phenomenal. I loved the mechanics of it, like just exploring the world. The gunfights are fun. The horse riding's, you know, when you get a hang of it, aren't crashing your horse every 5 seconds. Which I always find funny, like playing RP as much as I do, and I rarely see any horse collisions, but I remember when the game first came out, like compilations of people wiping out on their horses. And I've only wiped out like that, like I think 2 or 3 times in the story, and I'm like, what is everyone else doing? Like, yeah, you're running at high speeds through a forest. Of course you're going to freaking hit a tree. But I digress. Oh, God. Red Dead 2, so much fun. I love the characters, the story development. God, just they had such good villains, and like, God, I just want to say Micah, like, props on that voice actor, because holy shit, from like the first time you hear him, you just fucking hate him, and he's supposed to be a character you hate, and he's one of those characters you love to hate. Like, he's just so good at being a hateable character. It's just so fantastic. He's such a great antagonist, I guess you could say. Freaking the whole storyline is just it's just fun, and it's a roller coaster, and you really do you feel it when you lose people. It's like, shit, we just did a couple missions in a row with those people, like, oh fuck, and there's like so many, I don't think there's many deaths that are, if any, that are like super dramatic. It's just like all of a sudden this person that you spent like hours with on missions, dead. Just dead. That's just it. They just got shot. And there's nothing you could have done. And it's just, it's so good. And another thing I absolutely loved about it was that, because there are members that survive. Evidently, if you play the first game, you know which members guaranteed survive. That they didn't, like Javier. He's one of the ones you hunt down in the first game. He is like in like no, he's like almost nothing with him. Like they didn't just like Bill got some love in there. Javier got like 1 or maybe 2 missions. Like there's a whole stretch of time where I think for like God, who knows how long until like the last time you like ride out as a gang, it's like, look, Javier's here. It's like, yeah, Javier agrees with me. It's like, where the fuck has Javier been? I haven't seen him in like 12 hours. Like he hasn't been part of a mission in the past 20. Like they didn't just throw characters that because they were in the prequel. They didn't just make certain characters like the center of the tension all the time. Some of them were, but it made sense, and that's what I kind of appreciated too about it. Was that way of character development and such. But yeah, it's just so much fun. I haven't played Red Dead Online at all, but just the single player, the exploration, the story, the mechanics of it all, the characters. I just loved it. I loved it so much. And it's just such a great game. Highly recommend it.
Yeah, with me, it was a game that I also played. Can't speak any more highly of it. Like, it really is super good. This was one of my first favorite games that I played. That was kind of like, in terms of story-rich, story-driven games, like, this was it. So, yeah, like, I don't know what else I could add to what Dark said, although, without going into detail, all I'm just gonna say is, Hosea's story, Molly's story was very interesting. And,
oh yeah,
in my opinion, it was some of the best. But that's just me. But yeah, like, just hearing Dark, like, I had glimpses of a couple of words that he said. Like, there was people that, I mean, kind of going off topic with Yakuza, like, there was people I thought were going to be like established characters throughout the series, and upon playing through the entire series, like, you spend a lot of time with this individual and they're not there anymore. Like, their stories they tell is just super interesting. There is definitely a lot of that in Red Dead Redemption, for sure. And yeah, I don't know how RDR3 would turn out, but I know it's going to be a good story regardless, because it just has that quality. So yeah.
Well, RDR3 either has to be a prequel, or it can't really take off when John, or with John's son Jack,
right? Because
the prequel or the epilogue in, I think it's 1914 in the epilogue for 1, so that's like World War I is about to break out, and like at that point the cowboy age is dead and gone. Right. Well, it's 99% gone in 2, like, and that's in 1899. I know that off the top of my head because that's
RP.
Well, actually, it's 1899, 1900, because online takes place a couple years before. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's in that, and then 1 takes place in Is it in 1910? Might actually be. Or is it 1911?
I think the 1911 is in RDR1. Red Dead.
Okay, so it would have to be It would have to be 1911 then. Well, that means is it the 20s when the epilogue takes place then? Because I'm trying to remember how old Jack is in that.
I think Jack is supposed to be like 16, 14, somewhere in there, so you're not too far off, but it's probably more...
Oh no, I was right. 19, okay, so... and Red Dead Redemption is primarily set in 1911, the epilogue taking place in 1914, and then Red Dead 2 set in 99, with the epilogue taking place in 07. Oh wow, 8 years later. I guess that makes sense.
Right. Because Jack's a kid, and he's basically an adult, and is trying to seek out revenge, essentially.
Yeah. But the only thing they could do going forward with Red Dead is to go back even further, because there's just nothing left for what this game does in the future, because at the point where like the first game is, like the culture in that is just struggling to just, the dying remnants of it are gone by 1914, like completely just like it's a thing of the past and never to happen again. So they'd have to go back to the actual like cowboy days if they wanted to do any more. If they do, I don't really, because they would have to make a prequel. I'm just not that interested in it. I'd prefer they just kind of left it alone. If that's the only way that they can make another game, I just don't feel like that's
right.
I don't want them to saturate it or try and just stretch it out because it was a successful game, so you make another game when you don't have, like... Because there are games that do that make sequels just because the previous game was a success.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those games they just get hurt by the performance in that, because it was just made more for money than for a need to, like, or a desire to, finish the story.
Right. But yeah, all I just know is Red Dead Redemption, good game, but it pains me when I know I've seen really good storytelling and it's above and beyond what Red Dead Redemption could. It's just I've seen what really good is, and everyone still points to Red Dead Redemption. It's just, as a fan, it hurts. As a fan, it hurts. That's all I'll say. So let's go ahead and wrap things up. I think this was a solid podcast. Sorry.
Hell yeah.
Sorry for everything, because I was all over the place. I mean, I was nervous as hell, and to talk about my favorite games off the cuff is just so much to endure, but God, I really, really did enjoy this. Need to get my list. Yeah. Also thought last podcast was also really good as well. But that was, again, just me. But yeah, last minute thoughts before we wrap things up?
No.
Guess, well, I'm trying to end the thing and pull up this number here. Yeah, I just really loved how today went. So now, anything going on stream-wise?
I'm gonna be doing RP immediately once we end the stream. So, that's what's going on. Possible side story starting up soon. Who knows? Who knows when it's gonna start? I don't know. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. I don't know, and I kind of don't want to know until it happens. Be a surprise, even though I know it's happening.
Alright. As for me, I'm gonna be doing a After Dark, so I don't know if... Obviously, me and Dark are gonna part ways, but I don't know if Dark wants to hang out for a little bit until he gets fully loaded in. I wouldn't mind entertaining him for a little bit. But I'm going to be doing After Dark, and basically I'm going to go over my full list of how I would have done it. Basically, I have a list of 15, so, like, I kind of feel like there are some games I would like to cover, so I'm going to be doing that also immediately after the podcast, and yeah, so I think that's about it. So other than that, tomorrow I'm probably going to be doing some more Yakuza Like a Dragon. I'm almost finished with it. And yeah, so I think that's about it. So that's a podcast from me and Dark. We want to thank everybody for showing up to the podcast, and for anyone that's going to be watching the podcast later on YouTube, we appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on the actually next
30th.
month. 30th? Are you sure?
30. Oh, no, you're right. It's the 12th.
Yeah.
Nope, I was... Yep.
It's on the 6th!
We're bi-weekly.
We're going to be doing it on the
Right.
6th of
Every
February.
fortnight.
And
Woo.
Dark's going to be hosting. It's going to be awesome.
Shit, it is the 6th. I looked... If I could show you what my calendar looks like, I looked at December, but it's fine.
December? How far did you go back? God damn!
It's one of those dry erase calendars. So it's still December
shit.
up there.
Oh.
It's got 4 months on there. It's got November to February.
Oh, you're going old school. You got an actual legit calendar you're looking at.
Well, no, it's just the one they gave me for free when I started university, so I still use it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I actually have one of those in the kitchen, and I never use that motherfucker. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I got one of those. But yeah, anyway. Wrapping things up now. But yeah, we love to see and hear you guys hang out with us, and we'll see you guys on February 6th, 2021. All right, we out. Peace.